Right then guys, welcome to day 3 or episode 3 of Road to 234. Now I didn't actually explain what it is in the previous few episodes, so I'll go over it now. So basically the goal is to win the school powerlifting comp next year. By the end of this year, or literally as soon as possible. I want to get to a 2-plate bench, 3-plate squat and a 4-plate deadlift. There's a number of plates aside, so 100 kilo bench, 140 kilo squat and 180 kilo deadlift. Now I'm currently on the way to the gym and I'm going to be training back, hamstrings and triceps today. You might be wondering why I've chosen such a strange selection of muscles. Just check out the view. It's so hot today. But the reason is because since I'm focusing on strength, the deadlifts train my back and hamstrings anyway. So like, I might as well combine those. And then I train triceps with back so it doesn't interfere with chest training. So yeah. I think that's all I've got to say for now. I'll see you guys at the gym. Bye. Right then guys, we've just reached the gym. I'll get my cycle chained up and I'll see you guys inside for the warm-ups for deadlifts. See you then. Right then guys, welcome to the voiceover section of the video for the first workout. And now I actually forgot to log this workout, so I'm kind of going off memory for the weights and reps. So we'll see how we go. And this was, as I said, a back, triceps and hamstrings workout. So I started off by doing some active stretches, so like some leg swings and things like that, as shown by the video. And then I started off with conventional deadlifts, starting with the bar for about 7 reps. And then I actually made a mistake when putting on the first plate, because I thought I put 20 kilo on each side, but I actually put 25 on one side and 20 on the other. And so that led to what I thought was a muscle imbalance, but actually just a stupid mistake on my part. And so this was kind of frustrating in the workout. So for the first working set, I thought I did 60, but I did 65 kilo for about 3 reps. And then, as you've seen in the clip, I tried 105 kilo, what I thought was 100 kilo, and I failed the rep because mainly because of the muscle imbalance, my muscles couldn't work properly or something. So I got kind of frustrated. Then I was like, okay, maybe it's just in my head because I haven't been deadlifting for a while. So I did my first set at what I think was 115 kilo for about 3 reps. And after that, look at this dude. I was really confused how I had this big of a muscle imbalance, because one side of the bar kept on going up way sooner than the other. So I checked the bar, only to notice that one side of the bar had a 25 kilo plate and the other had a 20. And so then I stripped back the whole way and then reset it at now 110 kilo, so 45 kilo aside. And then I did this for, I believe it was 4.5 reps. And then I continued on to do a second set, again of 110 kilo. And if I remember correctly, I got 3.5 reps. And just to reiterate, a half rep is when I attempt the next rep, but I fail about halfway through the next rep. And then for the second exercise, it was a straight bar, cable tricep push down. And I'm not sure of the weights that I've used for this, so I'm just going to talk to you guys about the exercise, and I'll tell you in the next workout what weights I've used. So for cable tricep pushdowns, first of all, for this first clip, I accidentally recorded in slow-mo, so that's why it looks like it's going really slowly, and I pulled the pin out and the thing dropped on my head, so laugh at that as you will. And then I'll just tell you about the execution of this exercise, because I don't know the weights I used. And that's another point. It's really important to log your workout so you know the weights I used. Don't do what I did in this workout. Okay, and so back to the point. For this, it's pretty self-explanatory. You attach a cable at about head height or just above head height, and then while slightly leaning forward, you press the straight bar in a downward fashion, trying to keep your shoulders still and just extending your elbows. I did one warm-up set of this, and then 2 working sets in around the 5 to 8 rep range. Though again, not sure of the weights and reps used. Anyway, on to the third workout, which was a wide grip T-bar chest supported row. And now this is really useful to target the upper backs, traps and rhomboids, building thickness in the upper back. And for this exercise, I started off with just the empty thing for about 7 reps. And then for the second warm-up set, I did a 20 kilo plate for about 4 reps. And then for the first working set, it was either 25 or 30 kilo. And I did this for both sets actually. For the first set I got 6.5 reps, I think. In the second I got 5.5 reps, I think. So that's T-bar rows. I use a wide grip because it helps flaring your elbows, so better targets your upper back. There's not much more to be said for that. For the fourth exercise, to isolate the hamstrings, I did a lying hamstring curl. I did a warm-up set of 10 kilo plate, I think, because this is plate loaded, for about 3 reps, and then I did 2 working sets at about 15 kilo for I don't quite remember how many reps. And even though the science-based lifting community does recommend a seated hamstring curl over the lying hamstring curl because it better targets one of the heads of the hamstring, I still prefer the seated hamstring curl because the seated hamstring curl, I still prefer the lying hamstring curl because it feels more enjoyable to do, and I haven't done one before. So you should also be prioritizing the exercises you enjoy, because then you're going to be more consistent with them in the long term. I think that's all to be said. Hamstring curl to isolate the hamstring. Exercise number 5 was a tricep skull crusher with an easy bar. And now this is really useful to more so isolate the tricep and target the long head more, because it works better at a large degree of shoulder flexion, which is some sciencey stuff, which basically means when your shoulder is above your head or your elbow is behind your body, the long head works, in simple bro science terms. Anywho, I did the skull crusher so I started with just the easy bar, doing about 7 reps, and then I knew I put a 10 kilo plate aside and did a couple reps as a feeler set. And then for the working sets, I think I did 10 kilos aside for 6.5 reps and then 5.5 reps, if my memory serves me. I might be wrong on that. And then another quick tip I like to do with these skull crushers is, once you hit failure on the skull crushers, you bring the bar back onto your chest and then you perform close grip presses. And this helps just burn out the triceps that bit more and provide a greater stimulus in my view. And I just have enjoyed doing it and it's worked for me. And then the last exercise of the session was an underhand grip plate loaded pull down. And now this is to isolate those lats, and more specifically those lower and middle lat fibers. And so this underhand grip pull down feels really nice, and I started with just the empty machine for about 7 reps, and then I put a 20 kilo plate aside and did about 3 reps. And then for my working sets, I did 2 sets with 30 kilo aside, or in each arm, in other words, for 7.5 reps, I think, on the first set, and 6.5 reps, I think, on the second. Again, I'm not sure, I'm just saying these off the top of my head. So that's all for this first workout of the day, and I'll see you guys on the way home from the gym. Right then guys, second workout of the day now. I'm on my way to the gym. Today not today, because we've already done a workout. Now I've got chest and bis so another chest and bis session, and I'll probably do an ab exercise at the end because my gym's got this quite nice machine for abs. And then the SBD of the day is going to be a pin press if I can manage it, because I've heard that's really good from I forgot the YouTuber's name, but like there's this YouTuber who's benched 220 kilo at 16 and held the world record, or holds, I don't know. But yeah, he recommended pin press. So if I can, I'll do that. If I can't manage to do pin press, because my gym hasn't got such a squat as such with a bench, so I'll see what I can do. But if not, I'll talk to you guys after I cross. If I can't do pin press, then I'll just do a Larsen press, which is basically training pure chest, because you literally like extend your legs fully, so that way you don't use your leg drive. So it trains more of the chest musculature and stuff like that. But anywho, I will see you guys when I've reached the gym, chain up my bike. I'll see you then. Right then guys, just reached the gym and I've got the bike chained up. I'll see you guys inside for bench press warm-ups. Right then guys, welcome to the voiceover for the second workout of this day 3 of Road to 234. So this is a chest and biceps and a bit of abs workout, as you probably saw me say in the cycling chat, pre-gym chat thing. So anywho, for the first exercise I did a pin press, and this is a bench press where you place the safeties just above your chest or anywhere, and it works on whatever weaknesses or limiting points, I guess, things that stop you from progressing in the bench press. So say you struggle with the lockout, you place the safeties high, so then the bar comes to a dead stop and you can focus on that lockout position. And this I've seen recommended a lot by @the Angus Whitby who supposedly has benched 220 kilo at 16 years old. And so if he's done that, then I reckon it works. So I placed this just above my chest to focus on building chest strength. And for this I did the bar for 7 reps, and then I did 60 kilos, so 2 plates aside, for 3 sets. On the first set I got 5 reps, on the second set I got 4 reps, and then on the third set I got 3 reps. That wasn't like a programming design. I planned to do 3 sets of 5, but I underestimated the difficulty of this exercise because it really trains your chest well. And then moving on to the biceps, I did a easy bar curl standing. And for this I started with just the bar for about 7 reps, and then I put 10 kilo aside and did about 2 reps as my warm-up sets. Then for the foot working sets I did 11.25 kilo aside for my first working set. I don't remember the number of reps. And then for the second working set, I dropped that down to 10 kilo aside so I could do some more reps. So this, as it's a curl, is going to train your biceps muscles, and I don't think there's much else to be said. Exercise number 3 was an incline machine press. Now this targets the upper chest more specifically, as you're pressing at an upward angle. And one thing I didn't mention in my day 1 video is that this machine goes really deep on your chest. So a strategy I implemented from Sam Sulek is placing little 1.25 kilo stopper weights, weight plates between the rubber bumper and the handle, so it doesn't start you as deep. So you could use that as a tip in case you have a similar plate loaded machine that goes really deep and you feel like your shoulder's going to rip off the bone. Anywho, I did the handles for about 7 reps, and then as a feeler set I did 20 kilo aside for 2 reps. And then for the working sets, if I remember correctly, I did 20 kilo aside, and I'm not sure the number of reps for the working sets. And as I've said before, this is to target the upper chest and more so for aesthetics. For the 4th exercise, to finish off the biceps, I did a rope hammer curl on the cable. And this is going to target also the brachialis muscle, which lies between the bicep and tricep, as well as some of the forearm muscles, like the brachioradialis. And for this, for the warm-up set, I did 35 kilo for a few reps. And then for the working set, because I only do a single working set of this, I did 55 kilo for 5.5 reps, I think it was. But again, just going off memory, so no real confirmation. So I think that's all to be said for that. And then to finish off the chest, I did a single set of weighted dips. So I start with just bodyweight dips to warm up, just doing about 5 or 6 reps. And then I chuck on a 10 kilo plate with the weight belt. And I will make a dedicated YouTube short probably tomorrow on how to use a weight belt exactly. But anywho, I did weighted dips with a 10 kilo plate for I think it was 5.5 reps. But again, can't quite remember. And then exercise number 6 to finish off the workout was this ab crunch machine. Now this is a really nice machine that my gym has, because not only does it crunch from the top like a normal sit-up or crunch would, but it also is kind of a reverse crunch at the same time, which you should be able to see from the clip, which means your legs also move towards your torso, and this is really good as it means it will target your upper and lower abs, so it's really good at training the entirety of your ab muscles. So for this I did a warm-up set of just the machine for about 6 reps, and then I put a 10 kilo plate on and I did 2 sets of 12 reps, I think it was, with the 10 kilo plate. And since I hadn't trained abs in a while, I probably could have done some more reps, but it was just that feeling of like my brain couldn't push as hard, especially since it was the second workout in the day. So that's going to be all for the second workout's voiceover, and I'll see you guys in the cycling segment. And just quickly, as a note, remember to log your workouts so you don't end up like me having to think about them on the spot. And it's also just a lot better because you can track your lifts as they increase, or if they do decrease, you can try and see maybe what the issue is. But at least you'll know whether they're increasing or decreasing. So you should be tracking your workouts. I personally like doing it through pen and paper because it gives me that old school feel. But there are also, you could also use the Notes app on your phone, or you could use a dedicated app, and for that I would recommend Boost Camp. I'm not sponsored, but that was the app I used before I went to pen and paper. So yeah, that's all for the workout segment, and I'll see you guys while cycling home. Right then guys, just finished up the chest and biceps workout that you guys would have seen by now. Pin press worked really well. I managed to do it, as you guys saw. And now I'm gonna just head home on the cycle. And I'll talk to you guys after I've started riding for a bit, so I'll see you then. Right then guys, currently on the way home and I'm cycling on the road, so I'll have to keep looking forward. Quick pre-workout tip for the day is have low fats in your pre-workout snack or meal or whatever it happens to be. And the reason is because fats have the highest number of calories per gram of fat. They've got 9 calories per gram of fat, like pure fat that is. Whereas protein and carbs have only 4, so they're going to take longer to digest. And so you might feel like your body's digesting during the workout, and also you're just not going to have as much energy. One sec, I've got to turn. I'll talk to you guys in a sec. Okay, back to the point. Yeah, so fats take longer to digest. That doesn't necessarily mean you should have no fats. Like for breakfast before my first workout of the day, I always have, or I have had the past 2 days, and I'm going to continue having 3 eggs, which, even though people say eggs are really high in protein, they're also high in fats. And that doesn't mean I'll just take that out and swap it for an oat bowl, just because, you know, carbs. But, yeah. So anyway, I'll wrap up this video so I don't hold up too many cars. Thank you guys all for watching today's video. Remember to like, subscribe and share to more people. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's workout, which I've forgotten what it is, so it'll probably be a 5k run, but see you then. Okay.